Hey there, Lead Head Brigade. This is your host of the Talking Lead podcast, Lefty. Just wanted to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Hope you all fill your tummies with Thanksgiving goodness and get to be with the ones that you love. So just a quick note before we get started here. I know a lot of you are probably looking for the Black Friday, Cyber Monday special that we normally do every year. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get that put together in time, but we will continue to bring you awesome discount codes, giveaways, especially this episode. I know a lot of you are anxious to find out if you won some of those dump trays from Mission First Tactical. So listen close in this episode. It's buried in there somewhere for the remaining 18 or 19 winners on that. Medicine in Bad Places. We've got discount codes for First Tactical, Modern Spartan Systems, ASP USA. Go back to our previous episodes. You can get those codes. And then show love to all the sponsors and supporters of the Talking Lead podcast during the holiday seasons. Follow them on their social medias. Go like their post. Let them know that you are a lead head and part of the Lead Head Brigade and that you support companies like Keltec Weapons, KeltecWeapons.com, Modern Spartan Systems, ModernSpartanSystems.com, Buck Knvies, BuckKnives.com. Go to their websites. If they're having a Black Friday special, you're going to find it there. Again, let them know that you're part of the Lead Head Brigade when you're purchasing. When you're going and liking their post on social media, goes a long way in them continuing to bring you guys and girls these awesome, awesome deals, these awesome discounts. So enjoy your Thanksgiving. Enjoy this show. TalkingLead@gmail.com. If you want to send me some Thanksgiving wishes, I'd love to hear from you.
Hey Leadheads, this is CJ Buck with Buck Knvies. I'm here with the Leadhead crew, just doing our best to leducate the uneducated.
All right, Lead Heads. We are back with another episode of the, what is this, guys? There you go. And we are in Post Falls, Idaho. I'll give you 3 guesses where we're at, and your first 2 don't count.
Post Falls, Idaho?
But where in Post Falls, Idaho? Something to do with pointy, sharp objects.
Exit 2, off the freeway, Pleasant View, and it's Buck Knvies.
Buck Knvies, ladies and gentlemen. We are at the headquarters, and thanks to our good buddy Brooksy, Bill Hampstead is here with Lefty, myself.
Yep.
And we are joined by the owner, president, and chief,
Grand Imperial Poobah, whatever.
Chief toilet cleaner.
Just don't call me late for dinner.
Just call me.
Just call me.
CJ Buck, ladies and gentlemen.
Good to be here.
It's been a while since we've had you on. It's January, I guess, at SHOT Show.
A year.
It's been a year, almost.
Yeah, almost.
SHOT Show is rolling around again.
Time does fly.
This year went by so fast.
Yep.
It has. It has really flown. For some reason, this year has really gone by fast. What we're building up to is the Talking Lead headquarters is going to be hosted again at Buck Knvies. So thank you guys for that.
Yeah.
And we've got a lot of things that we're going to kind of build up to. We're not going to tell you everything, but we're going to let you know what's going on with Buck Knvies here. We haven't had the full tour yet, so I can't really talk about all that, but I'll let you guys kind of get into that. Let's talk about your headquarters here. I mean, when we first got here, it was just, the presence when you first drive into the parking lot here, it catches you from the get-go. You guys have a really nice setup here. So talk about the headquarters a little bit.
Well, we came up here. We were in San Diego, California for 60 years.
Wow.
So my great-grandfather moved in with his oldest son. So Hoyt, my great-granddad, moved in with Al, my grandfather, in 1945 in San Diego. And they, as Buck Knvies kept growing, real estate just kept getting more expensive in San Diego, so they kept moving east into East County. So El Cajon, East County, San Diego, that's where I grew up as a kid, fairly rural area.
Right. And, of course, in those days, it's a completely different California then.
Oh, we were shooting 22s on the mountain behind my house. Yeah, so it's El Cajon was riding motorcycle.
From horseback.
From horseback.
So in 2005, let me backtrack just a bit. In 2002, we made the decision to relocate our manufacturing from San Diego, California, which was just becoming too difficult to manufacture, and we moved to Post Falls, Idaho.
There you go.
So we looked at Kentucky and Tennessee, and we looked at
How did we not get you in Tennessee?
It was close. We had a ton of family up here. So when my great-grandparents, they raised their family in Washington State.
Okay.
So we have a lot of family up in the Pacific Northwest. So it had a lot going for it from a family standpoint.
Yeah.
So we made the decision to choose Idaho is where we'd
just like the snow, huh? You don't like summer much, do you?
San Diego, if you want to check the weather, you check it monthly.
Yeah.
And up here, you have to check it hourly. So it is quite different.
Quite a bit different. And we were talking. We're fortunate that we timed our trip the way we did because you guys got some big snow coming in. I think right when
next week,
when we're exiting. So
next week for Thanksgiving.
Awesome. Yeah.
It'll be very holiday-esque.
That's right. So speaking of holidays and what you guys got coming up next week, you kind of got a big promotion that you're working on with a few other companies. You want to talk about that?
We do. We spoke with a bunch of companies that are out there in the outdoor industry. Nothing like specific. This isn't like a shooting giveaway or anything specific, but it's more just outdoor. So we spoke with about 13, 14 other companies. Every single one of them just stepped up. We said we want to do a big giveaway. We want to invite in some cool companies that we like working with. And every single one of them said yes. They all jumped in. And, that's Filson, Cryptek, Stance, Twisted X, Rhino Safes. We have a list of cool product, and this will be going out in a little over a week.
What's the date?
I don't know.
Because as we're recording this is the November the 22nd, and then the release date will be.
I want to say it starts on the 3rd.
Okay.
That is the number that I have.
So as you're listening to this, the contest has probably already started. So where can they go and take part? And
they'll be able to go to our website. We're going to e-blast this. We're going to send it out through social media. They can just come to our website. They'll be able to see it. We're just calling it the Big Outdoor Giveaway. It's over $3,000 worth of product. Again, everybody just so cool with what they sent us. Some of this stuff is...
Talk about some of the stuff that's in this package.
I wish I had a list in front of me.
Use that big brain.
Right On Optics, they sent us a $700 plus scope.
Scope, nice.
We have Wiley X that sent us 3 pairs of sunglasses. Mm-hmm. Twisted X sent us 2 pairs of boots. Rhino, did I say Rhino yet?
You said Rhino, yeah. Safes?
Previously.
You didn't say what they're
giving.
Yeah, they sent us a really cool safe. I don't know how we're going to ship this thing. This thing
you may have to come pick this up.
It weighs 150 pounds.
This explains a lot because all this stuff's been kind of queuing up in Brooksy's office.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, what the heck is going on?
That's right.
Somebody's doing some massive trading in here.
Hiding presents from his wife, right?
I have to check our inventories after that.
Come back from holiday, and I've got all of this stuff in my office. So it's, let's see, who have I not met? Cryptek gave us some camo gear, pants, jacket, hat.
Sweet.
We've got.
I'm sure there's going to be some Buck Knvies in this.
Yeah, of course we have several products in there. We've got Stance socks sent. Probably 8-10 pairs of socks, which are super cool. We have
cookware, right?
Yeah, we have Lodge. They stepped up with a
great cast iron stuff.
Cool, yeah,
good camping.
Right. Climate.
There, yeah.
Climate sent us a real cool sleeping bag. And
So what you need to do is just cram all this in that safe, and then you just send the safe. Right?
It's a big safe. Almost all of this will fit in there. So whoever wins this
is going to be awesome.
Eberly Stock sent us a real cool pack.
Very cool.
Those guys down there did a great job, and so it was Yeti sent us a soft cooler.
Yeti.
That's right.
Yeti.
Yeah, little segue. But yeah, I mean,
don't get me started.
We've got
Lefty.
so much gear in this. I mean, it is just. It's super cool. I hope I didn't leave anybody out because I'd feel really bad. But
well, what we're going to do is when you guys are making this post, we'll reshare it to our social media. Maybe we'll do a live once you kick it off to our crew and announce it to them. But I mean, that's awesome. So you guys be watching Buck Knvies' social media, their website, these other great companies that are taking part. Make sure you go and like their social media pages. Are you going to do like a Gleam thing where you go and you like and you get so many entries? And
it'll be something like that, yeah.
Okay, kind of like where
the rules will come out and everybody will be able to read it and go through and follow the process.
Yeah, kind of like we're doing Mission First right now. We're doing a giveaway of Mission First, and yeah, that's cool. So can't wait for that. And when is the giveaway going to happen? The announcing?
It'll go on for 2 weeks.
Around Christmas time?
So it'll come out just before Christmas.
Oh, man. So the winner that's going to have some great Christmas gifts.
Absolutely.
It's going to be amazing.
No doubt.
Amazing.
That is cool. Well, very good. That's exciting. Let's talk about some more exciting news. Let's talk about some new products and where you guys are headed with with the 2020 products.
Yeah, so we've got
new releases. But don't give away everything because we want to save some stuff for SHOT Show.
Oh yeah, we won't get too specific, but we've got some pretty cool stuff coming out in 2020. One of our focuses will be along the lines of tactical.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have some new tactical product that's coming out. We've been working with some pretty cool folks in the industry, and
some that may or may not have been on this show.
That's right.
That's dropping hints.
Yep, some pretty cool folks out there, and so we've got probably, I don't know, 14 to 20 new products coming out around SHOT Show.
Wow.
We've got some mid-year releases that we'll be coming out with. But, yeah, a big focus will be on the tactical side of things.
Okay, very good.
I'm looking forward to seeing those.
Yeah. You've had a sneak peek. Just enough to tease. So
that's a big tease too.
I can tell you guys, you're definitely going to be excited about this new line that's coming out. Now, when we were at FLIOA for their conference, you guys had released a new line there, and it did well just at that show. Talk about that real quick. Your hunting.
Yeah, we came out with the Pursuit series.
That's what it was.
That was about a August release, so just before hunting season started, and that went over really well. So those have been selling pretty good, and you might see a little more in the future. So we're always trying to work on the hunting category. I mean that's our bread and butter.
That's what you were born from, right?
And so we've got some new shapes that are coming out that we're working on, and then some new materials. And that was well received.
Yeah, it was. I really liked that line too.
That FLIOA event was super cool. I mean, we talked a little bit yesterday about it, just us three, but that we've seen some residual sales from that show. Good. That was super cool. Gaining some insights from some of the folks that came up to the booth and shared some information and gave us a few ideas, and we're running with it.
Yeah,
awesome. So this tactical line will also be law enforcement, and shortly after the FLIOA event, we did the ICOPA event down in Sun Valley, Idaho.
What is ICOPA?
ICOPA is the Idaho Chief of Police Association.
Oh, okay.
So we had a booth down there and shared some of our ideas that we came back with from the FLIOA event, as well as what we were currently working on with the tactical side. And again, well received. So we set up kind of a team of folks with ICOPA that's going to, help us with some future products. So well as
when you mesh our background in heat treat and metallurgy with some outside input on shape, size, and weight, you get a really high-performing knife.
Yeah.
Out of it.
I'll bet. And that would be, if we could just kind of maybe go high level on this, because that'll be another show, or maybe we get into some details. But what a lot of people don't understand is what goes into producing a blade. How a blade is made. Can you guys kind of high level run through, the process from choosing the metal to make it out of to the finished product?
Yeah, usually when you're talking knife steels, you have 3 attributes that you're chasing. So you've got ductility, toughness, won't break. You've got hard enough to hold an edge, and then you have corrosion resistance. So you're trying to balance those 3 attributes, and you can pick any 2.
Right.
You don't get all 3.
You don't get all 3.
You get to pick any 2. So you can have a diving knife that's stainless steel, won't rust, but you could put it in a vise, bend it 90 degrees. It's not going to hold an edge worth a darn. You can get a high carbon tool steel that is fairly ductile, can take a beating, going to be hard enough to hold a great edge, but if it looks at water, it rusts. So you're always balancing those 2. So a lot of the new steels are mixing elements into the steel itself that gives you, usually you're trying to get a little more corrosion resistance without giving up either the ductility or the hardness.
Right.
And so we've been, I think we've been ahead of the game as far as we're choosing steels that custom knife makers are experimenting with, but then we are learning how to heat treat those steels. And heat treat's a whole nother story. Heat treat is all about combining within those steels the atomic elements that are in there. When you apply heat, you apply cold, you actually create molecules from those atoms. And these molecules are prone to resist corrosion versus the atomic elements floating free can attract corrosion. So if you do the heat treat right, you optimize all 3 attributes, and so that's what. So
would you say the heat treat is like the most important process of the?
It's the Buck secret sauce.
Yeah, the Buck secret sauce.
I like that.
Well, and Buck has been doing this for a while.
We've been doing our own heat treat in-house since 1969.
Wow.
So it was my father who just didn't trust having it done outside, so wanted to control that process. And because it's so crucial to, if we say Buck Knives, famous for holding an edge, we mean it.
Right.
And it
That's
comes
what
from the
you're
heat
famous
treat.
for.
That's what we're famous for, yeah.
So you guys are doing pretty much everything in-house these days, right?
As much as we can. So we've had a bit of a capital expenditure spending program here, reinvesting in our company. And a lot of what we've been doing is bringing external processes that we were outsourcing and bringing them into our facility, from CNC machining to laser cutting. Fine blanking we've done forever, but Cerakoting, lathes. So we're making all our own rivets and threaded fasteners. So we control the quality and the engagement and the metallurgical integrity of the parts. All that stuff now we control, and
that's huge.
It is. It really
to have control over even the smallest little, like the rivets.
Well, one, it's cheaper for us to make than to buy because the factory's here. So,
but you get consistency that way.
You get consistency, and if you do make a mistake, you fix it immediately.
Right.
Because somebody downstream from you walks over and says, "Hey, knucklehead, get this squared away."
Right.
That type of interaction doesn't happen with a vendor nearly as quickly.
Yeah.
It's been super positive to bring these processes in house.
Very good. Yeah.
Yeah, you're just not sitting there waiting on a vendor. Yeah. Like we discussed yesterday, how you can actually sit there and you are waiting for a vendor to get your product to you. You're not depending on that. So we have very little that we don't do internally.
Wow, that's awesome.
We interrupt your regularly scheduled program to bring you this special news announcement from the Lead Quarters.
All right, Lead Heads, now it's time, the moment you've been waiting for. for our Mission First Tactical Talking Lead Tactical Dump Tray Tactical Wallet giveaway. You joined us live. We thank everybody that tuned in. We announced 5 of the winners on that show. And joining me to announce the next, is it 18, 17, 19? How many? 18. We have David Edelman with Mission First Tactical. Welcome in, David.
Hey, Lead Head.
So,
Having me.
I think always, man. You're always welcome on this show. And I think the giveaways that you just did really buttered up the Lead Head, so I know that they will welcome you anytime you want to be on the show. Really cool giveaways. We're giving away some Kydex tactical dump trays and wallets. Talk about those real quick. Tell everybody what a tactical dump tray and wallet is.
Sir, so the first items are what we call our minimalist wallet. It's everything you need, nothing you don't. We use the same material that we make our holsters with, so it's made out of Boltron. You get the Kydex click as you slide your credit cards or business cards in and out, or your IDs.
Or your tactical patches, or all kinds of stuff you can throw in there. Your discount cards.
French fries, hey, whatever you want to do.
French fries.
It's designed to hold 8 credit cards or 15 business cards. It's nice and slim, great for everyday carry.
Durable as hell.
The designs are chemically bonded to the material, so scratch and wear resistant. These things can really take a pounding. And everything's handmade by vets, made in the USA.
There you go. And
on the dump trays, it's, again, the same great material, handmade by vets, made in the USA. These are designed to sit on your nightstand, your entryway table, your desk. You use a little Velcro, put it in your truck. Got a nice pocket for your phone, and then an open area for all the other stuff. Kind of keep it all together, you know.
Yeah.
We want you nicking up the furniture, getting yelled at by your wife, or losing your keys every 5 minutes. So it gives you a nice place to put all that stuff.
Absolutely.
They're about 8 by 11, so not too big. Fits on a nightstand or a countertop real well. That same chemical bond's going on there, so you could throw your keys on there a million times, and that design is going to hold up.
Absolutely. And this is a new offering from Mission First Tactical in their great line of products that they currently offer with their furniture for the AR-15s. The handguards, the grips, the butt stocks. I mean, the MFTs are my favorite butt stocks of any butt stock that's out there. And then, of course, your new magazines. I really dig your new AR-15 magazines. They're the bee's knees, baby.
I appreciate it. And you lead heads, keep an eye out. We're dropping a new one.
Uh-oh.
Yes, sir. Coming to you shortly. A couple weeks.
So a new piece of furniture, a new magazine, a new
magazine for a 5.56. 30 rounder.
Nice. So when that's ready, you're going to come on here. We're going to do an exclusive, right? Let all the lead heads know.
Let's launch it. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. I love that. All right. So let's go ahead. I know people are anxious. They want to know if they're the winners. Let's tell them who the first 5 winners were first. So the ones that joined us live, again, these are the ones who won from that giveaway. Sure.
So the first 5 was Katja Stone out of Spartansburg, South Carolina, won a Talking Lead wallet. Eric Meyer out of Mount Victory, Ohio, won a Lead Head wallet. Kyle Deppenschmidt out of Warminster, Pennsylvania, my neighbor, won an AK Corner wallet. Philip Richardson out of Mobile, Alabama, won a Talking Lead dump tray. And James Gilgill out of Beaver, Pennsylvania, won an AK Corner dump tray.
Very cool. And those are the logos, this is the specific logo. So when he said the Talking Lead, that is our classic Flying Bullet Talking Lead logo. And then, of course, our new AK Corner logo, which is just badass. And we're probably going to do some more things with that logo, shirts and patches and things like that. And then the Lead Head Brigade, our listener-designed logo. We had a big contest for that about a year or so ago. So
I just want to mention that if you are not a winner, we will be selling these on our website. All you need to do is go to missionfirsttactical.com, and up on the left corner you'll see limited edition. Just click on that and you'll see the designs. Wallets are going for $24.99 and dump trays are going for $29.
Awesome. So you guys go load up on those. They make perfect gifts for the holidays, birthdays, anniversaries, whatever the occasion may be. Just to say, hey, here's a cool gift because you're a cool chick or you're a cool dude, whatever it may be.
And speaking of the holidays, on the limited edition site, you'll find we do a 3D chocolate replica mag every year, so made out of milk chocolate.
Oh, cool.
That's so awesome. doing them as gifts, and now we overrun them and sell some. So while supplies last, you'll see those up on the website as well. $9.99. What those will.
I got to get me one of those. I love that. That's cool.
Make a note. I'll send you one. No problem.
All right, so everybody's anxious. So drum roll, and we're just going to go name everybody off and what they win one by one here.
Sounds good. All right, so we're going to start off with the Talking Lead wallet. It's that classic design.
Sweet.
Brad Frasco out of Olathe, Kansas. Kevin Meeker out of Lucky, Ohio. Edward Kaufman out of Atwater, Ohio. Jason Stopper out of Jefferson, North Carolina. And Joseph Idle out of Pequawiki, Wisconsin.
Okay. I think he'll probably figure out who he is.
Pretty sure I screwed that up, but and I should say we have everybody's email address, and we will be reaching out asking for some shipping information.
Very cool.
So now we got the Lead Head wallet, and as we mentioned, Eric Meyer out of Mount Victory, Ohio, Roger Pemberton out of Conway, Arkansas, Tracy Greenwood out of Middletown, Delaware, Manuel Vizcarra out of Kitchener Ontario. Look at that, man. I didn't know you were international.
Oh, baby. Yeah, we're in over 100 countries. Look out. We should have probably said that this isn't, you got to be local, continental, U.S.
That's no big deal. We'll send it parcel post. So it might take a little bit, but it'll get there.
Cool.
Then we got Wade Connor out of Denver, Colorado. And I apologize ahead of time.
Maybe you don't want to have to spell it, you know.
Arnfulfo Nufi Rangel. It's ARNULFO NUFYRANGEL out of Fort Worth, Texas. All right. So now we're jumping into the AK Corner wallet. We mentioned Kyle Deppenschmidt out of Warminster, Pennsylvania. We got Tim Miller out of Lima, Ohio. Jessa Kearney out of Wellington, Florida. EJ Bognier out of South Carolina. Kevin Meyer out of Brunswick, Ohio. Theodore Thorne out of Enterprise, Oregon.
We got people from all over the country, all over the world. Got somebody up there in the Canada, the Canucks.
Our friendly neighbors to the north.
Yeah. Very cool. Keep it rolling. Keep it rolling.
All right, so now we're talking about the Talking Lead dump tray. So that's your classic Talking Lead logo. As we mentioned, Philip Richardson out of Mobile, Alabama. Craig Cottrell out of Portland, Oregon. Christopher Tranny out of West Springfield, Mass. And now we're jumping into the AK Corner dump trays. As we mentioned, James Gilgill out of Beaver, PA.
Beaver.
John Pickett out of Glendale, Arizona. And William Garcia out of San Francisco, California.
Sweet. Fighting the good fight out on the West Coast. Right.
Sir, good people everywhere.
And is that it? Is that everybody?
That's it. That's everybody. That's all 24 winners. We love doing this. We look forward to doing it again at some point. And we went ahead and made up some lead head trays for Lefty, so we'll get those out to him and see what he wants to do with them.
And like David said, if you weren't a winner, you can go to their website under their limited edition tab at the top, and you can purchase these with the Lead Head Brigade logo, the Classic Talking Lead logo, and the AK Corner logo. You can do the wallets, you can do the trays, and then I think you guys have some other designs and logos that are available also. Is that correct?
We do. In that limited edition, we're doing some stuff with the guys over at 2A. So a portion of the proceeds go to help fight that fight. Great cause at the 2A rally. And, then we just have our normal designs. So if you guys check those out, you just go to the wallet and dump tray tab. A lot of cool stuff in there.
Awesome. And then you guys have like a big warehouse purge that you're going to be doing over the holidays here, so people can pick up some awesome deals on some random items. I don't think you have everything inventory yet, do you?
No, so we're not. So we continue to let our customers really do the Black Friday sales, but this is a great opportunity for us to close out some product that we're not moving forward with. It's mainly just color stuff, and discounts go up to 80%, so it's a pretty good deal. You'll see that up on our website, right on the homepage. Just use the discount code there find out what we're blowing out.
Nice. Very good. David, thank you. Thank Mission First, everybody over there. And this has been a great contest. We had amazing participation, especially with us kind of just throwing it together last minute.
Yes, sir. Like I said, I look forward to doing it again in the future, doing it right, figuring out how to get Facebook Live to work.
we're a step closer, I think we're a step closer. We actually got your logo up there, but we couldn't add you, so we'll get it all worked out. We'll get the kinks worked out. But we got SHOT Show coming up, and I know you guys have some things at SHOT Show. Maybe that magazine will be ready for SHOT Show when we have you on. We can talk about it. And if you're going to be attending SHOT Show, we've probably let's go ahead and tell them we got some things in the works, some special limited edition logo, SHOT Show logo stuff that we're going to be giving out at SHOT Show.
Yes, sir. We will be some exclusive stuff. So definitely stay tuned.
Very cool. And go Mission First Tactics, missionfirsttactical.com. They're on social media, Instagram. It's just Mission First Tactical. Facebook's Mission First Tactical. Go show them the Lead Head Brigade love, guys, and go buy all that stuff for gifts. Makes great gifts. If you want to send me something, shoot me an email. I'll give you my address. You can send me a dump tray. All right, Dave, again, thanks so much. We'll be in touch soon. We're going to be doing some more of these great giveaways with David and some of our other supporting sponsors. So stay tuned, Lead Heads. Now back to your regularly scheduled program. So Bill has something that he wants to say.
Yeah, we're kind of backtracking.
We're going to backtrack a little bit.
Marty led on to a different topic almost.
Bill didn't catch on to my hint that I was giving him.
No, I didn't catch on to the hint. You just always segued into something. So anyway.
Blah, blah.
Squirrel.
Yeah, exactly. Little screen in the head,
Yeah.
You're right. But no, backtracking to the FLEOA conference, it was great to have you there, and could not have asked for a better partnership and relationship with the knife company. So, doing that.
No, I'm just doing. You keep talking.
I know.
And talk loud, Bill.
I am talking loud, and I'm talking directly.
He's so
into
mousy.
it.
He is.
Yeah, what is it? What's
Right?
with that?
No, I'm not.
These
good
big
with
burly
microphone.
guys. These big burly guys get mousy. What is
I don't
with
understand.
I'm just a quiet guy in general.
There, I just turned you
That
up.
is not true.
Okay, never mind. I just got called out.
We do love you.
Thank
We
you.
do love you.
But yes, guys, I appreciate you. And on behalf of FLEOA and all the support that you have shown us, I would like to give you guys these. Let me see.
that? Was that a suppressed 44?
Oh, I wish. Wouldn't that be badass? But on behalf of FLEOA and all support, guys, for you.
Oh, my
excellent.
gosh, that is amazing.
CJ, I don't know where the hell you're going to put it in your office here or where it will go, but
Wow, very cool.
Yeah,
and Brooksy, you're going to hate me,
that's
but
neat.
thank you for everything, brother.
Oh, man. No, I love this relationship that we have.
So-
I
Yes.
appreciate
So
that.
for you
Definitely not
listeners,
necessary.
Bill just awarded CJ and Chris these nice glass. What would you call these? Crystal monument
Crystal displays.
Yeah.
displays. Yeah.
One to Buck Knives and one specifically for Chris Brooks.
How about
Got a
that?
good guy here.
Wow.
That is
Yes.
amazing. No,
Just
I really
in recognition
appreciate
of
that.
your support. Thank you, guys.
No, happy
Appreciate
to be
you.
a part of it. You know, when this whole thing came up, you and I, we talked over the phone.
Yeah.
A couple of emails went by, and this was a no-brainer.
Good.
This was like, yeah, this is something that we really need to grab onto, and it has been. I mean, not only just the partnership, but the friendship.
Yes.
I mean, that has come out of it just instant. You know, you can tell that.
Yeah.
You're working with some really good people.
Yeah, likewise.
It's amazing. Thank you, brother.
Anytime, bud.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what we were trying to build up to with the
Yes.
That is
with the
squirrel.
flashback to the FLEOA.
Definitely not necessary, but appreciated.
Oh, absolutely necessary. I mean, everybody was so impressed with your presence there at the conference and everything you've offered
It
to
was-
membership.
that
It's
was fun.
awesome.
I mean, the thing about this, this industry, again, that was a long ride yesterday.
It was. Yeah.
So we had a lot of windshield time, and we were able to talk. But this industry is just the coolest. This is, I mean, one of the reasons why I've just always wanted to stay in it. just the people you meet.
It's a big industry, but it's a tight industry.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
It really is.
I mean,
Very
it does.
tight-knit.
It sprawls. You know, the industry does sprawl because it's not just like, you know, rifles, guns, ammo, you know, shooting. It's camping outdoors. It's conservation. It's so many different things.
Yeah.
And you meet so many cool people. And that event, that was work, right? But it was so fun. It didn't seem like work.
Right.
You know,
Good.
it was just it was a good time. Although it was in Maryland.
Yes, I know.
Even though
It's a long ways away from home. I'm not dissing Maryland. I'm just saying that is a long ways from home. CJ goes to D.C. all the time. I've been to D.C. like 3 times this year, and that's a long ways when you're leaving Spokane.
Yeah, and you taking the time to individually sign each of those blades, 150 of your signatures on those, that was beyond well received. Everyone was blown away that you did that. So thank you, CJ.
My pleasure.
Yeah, we sold out. I mean,
Quickly.
we did not hold on to those knives. You know, they were gone.
Yeah.
And thanks to everybody at FLIOA, that was amazing.
Good. Thank
Very
you.
cool. So you touched on something that I want to talk about now. During our drive yesterday, we went from Post Falls to Moscow. We went down and visited our good buddy Brian Keeney at Occam Defense. And Highway 95. You know, we were talking about Highway 95, and CJ kept saying, you know, it's a beautiful drive. You know, it's scenic. You guys are going to really enjoy it. And, I mean, you didn't do it justice. But, you know, as we were going through there, we were seeing, you know, a lot of deer, you know, everywhere around. And I guess it's deer season here now?
It is.
Is it rifle?
It is. It's rifle.
It's rifle. So when I get back tomorrow, rifle season opens up in Tennessee. So I'll be hitting it hot and heavy. But conservation is something that is a passion of yours, CJ, and that you've been doing for a long time now. And you're very into several different organizations that are specifically for the wildlife conservation.
Yes, sir.
Mule Deer Society, is that?
Mule Deer Foundation.
Foundation.
So I've been a board member for Mule Deer for I think 8 years.
Yeah, and then you're also
So I'm one of 100 regular members of the Boone and Crockett Club.
Boone and Crockett Club. Yeah.
So also a board member for Boone and Crockett, and then I am a board member and chairman of the legislative committee for the American Knife and Tool Institute, which is more about keeping knives legal,
Sure.
less about conservation.
Yeah, but it crosses into that. You know,
It really does.
Kind of gets into that.
When we're back in D.C., Brooksy talked earlier about being back in D.C. When we're back in D.C. trying to get stuff done, I'll call them the critter groups, but
Okay.
NRA, Congressional Sportsmen's Foundation, Safari Club International, those people are already back there with lobbyists, and it's been a great partnership because people realize that you can't go hunting without knives.
True.
And so working with us to make sure that knife legislation is clean, objective, it's clear, it's not ambiguous, it's enforced consistently. We go back there. We work state to state, but we also work on a couple of federal things just to go through, because there's a lot of really stupid laws. They're not written well.
Right.
They made sense to somebody
At the time.
yeah. But now we don't use those words anymore. Those
Or they
definitions don't
intentionally
mean
leave
anything.
them vague.
Well, I'll tell you. So, in a lot of states, a dangerous weapon is a Bowie knife.
Okay.
What's a Bowie knife? Is that a Bowie knife in your pocket? Or you just happen to? No, I won't go there. But, is that a Bowie knife, or what's a Bowie knife? So
What
if you want to
constitutes a Bowie knife?
if you want to make a blade length limitation, then make a blade length limitation. Make it clear so that if I'm carrying something, I know I can understand it's legal or it's not legal. And so that's what we've been doing is we've been going through Bowie knife, dirk, dagger. Well, what are those things? Right. If you don't want a double-edged blade, then say double-edged blade. If you don't want anything over 8 inches long or 10 inches long or whatever, then specify that. That's just, we've been working state to state.
I was going to say that's a kind of a state-to-state kind of issue.
That's a state-to-state issue. Yeah, we have made an enormous amount of progress in eliminating knife laws in many different states on possession. Mm-hmm. So you hurt somebody with a knife, you deserve everything that's coming to you. You shouldn't get in trouble for just having something with you, having something in your pocket.
Right.
Yeah, it's a tool.
A tool in your pocket, right.
Yep.
And we're talking a knife.
Yeah. So, back you brought up conservation. So back to on the conservation side, I have really enjoyed working with the Boone and Crockett Club because it's gotten me some insight into some bigger, broader issues. Mm-hmm. And one of the real painful issues is the battle between hunting and anti-hunting. Mm-hmm. When you look at the North American model for conservation, which is the basic concept is animals are not owned by the landowner.
Right.
Animals are held in the public trust for all of us. Even though they run across your land back and forth, you don't own them. They belong to the general public, mm-hmm. and thus need to be managed for the general welfare, for the general public. This country enjoys such an enormous success and bounty in recovering wildlife. So you look at white-tailed deer, you look at elk, you look at moose, you look at turkey. Everything has made such miraculous comebacks compared to where they were at the turn of the century when everybody was market hunting and the local saloon had venison on the menu and hunters were just scouring the surrounding mountainsides. Wildlife can't take that kind of pressure.
Right.
So you can't put a domestic raising cattle kind of pressure on harvesting wildlife. You really need to manage it differently. So the North American model for conservation has fair chase hunting as the most controllable wildlife management tool in existence. So I'll tell you a quick story that's on everybody's hearts here in Idaho was the reintroduction of wolves in Idaho. So when you look at ways to control animal populations, putting a hellacious predator.
So this was their attempt at taking hunting out of the solution.
This was the attempt to take hunting out of the solution.
Okay.
There's other ways to balance wildlife populations.
Yeah, this is a good story. Yeah.
Nobody wants wildlife to overpopulate and then all starve, or overpopulate and then have some type of disease extinction event that just throws everything into, and then it takes another few decades for those populations to recover. Mm-hmm. It's much better to just manage in a healthy way through that whole time period rather than having these gigantic upswings and downswings. If you let Mother Nature balance wildlife populations, she will. Mm-hmm. And it's not pretty. It's brutal.
Yeah.
So when you allow people, as in hunters, to manage a population, hunters are the only predator that has an on and off switch, and they have a volume switch. All other predators have none of those controls. Right. So they will populate until the prey disappears, and then they will all starve to death, and then the prey slowly comes back, and the predators slowly come back, and it's just
cyclical.
This chasing cyclical.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So in North America, when you think of fair chase hunters, not market hunters, not people fishing with dynamite, not not people netting gigantic flocks of waterfowl. When you think of fair chase hunting, that is the most effective way to manage populations. You can raise the game limit, you can lower the bag limit, you can do lots of different things. You can
different controls.
You can control the weapons, you can control the seasons. Mm-hmm. You can let something be hunted until a certain point, and then you can shut the season off because you've reached your goals. There's lots of control that's allowed there. And when you think of a wildlife like a Department of Fish and Wildlife in a state mm-hmm. or in our country, they need those tools to manage for a healthy population. And the folks that are so virulently anti-hunting are not coming up with a valid alternative to healthy wildlife management.
Right.
And so it's a lot of yelling and screaming.
Yeah.
And suing, and
a lot of litigation,
and pulling every time we allow an anti-hunting group to sue a wildlife agency, The wildlife agency is spending money to defend that suit that should have been going for another officer to control poaching, or should have
or another
would
study
have
on
been another
population.
study on
Yeah.
populations, or building one of those overpasses that we talked about earlier.
Yeah, I want to talk about
where
that.
you're
too.
allowing winter migration routes to not be fatal for deer as they're doing their instinctive migrations between seasons. So
getting to that green grass.
when you talk about hunting, you can't. It's so not about my right to hunt, and so much more about this is a complex system that over the last 100 years has proved to be so successful. You look around you, see the deer, see the turkey, see the elk. It's been so successful for bringing animals back from the brink of extinction.
Yeah, and this is the North American model.
The North American model for conservation. If you go to the Boone and Crockett website, booneandcrockett.org, there a lot of this background is in there for how Teddy Roosevelt started the club, because he was nervous. He had 2 trips to the Dakotas. I forget how long they were separated by, but it was full of game on his first trip and virtually devoid of game on his second trip. And it scared the dickens out of him.
Yeah.
And he came back in a panic, started Boone and Crockett Club. Boone and Crockett Club was influential in establishing game limits for the first time. People didn't even realize how much damage they were doing and how these animals weren't going to be able to recover without help.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a fascinating story of an individual.
But that comes into
who made huge changes.
The scientific part of the model, where you go out and they do the studies on the animal populations, and they find out, what the population is at this time and what's caused it to deplenish
They do the surveys.
Or excess.
They realize if a population's getting too large and it's starting to impact the flora's ability to recover, so they're overgrazing or overbrowsing, they need to be taken down a peg. That allows the plants to recover. I mean, there's so much management that can be done.
It's not
so
just
carefully.
the animals; it's the whole ecological system.
It's the whole system. And so, when you think about something as a whole system like that, you realize that the control mechanism is also a very complex system. And if you start tweaking one element of that control system, it has lots of ripple effects. So now, bring us back to wolves in Idaho. So. In 1990, I want to say it's 92 or 93, wolves were dropped in Yellowstone Park, and they were also dropped on the Idaho-Montana border. So north.
And what kind of wolves were these?
These were Canadian gray wolves.
Okay,
So
these are big wolves.
These are big wolves. So when you look at an area's ability, I don't want to get too much in the weeds, but when you look at an area's ability to produce enough protein to sustain certain predators, a lot of the areas where there are grizzly bears or the big brown bears, the only reason those areas can support a predator of that size is because thousands of pounds of fish swim up the stream from the ocean where they can grow. There's plenty of food in the ocean to grow all this protein, and then the ocean sends it upstream to feed the bears.
It's a process.
And it works. And that's the only reason those bears can survive where they are, because otherwise there's not enough protein for them.
Right.
So now you think about these big Canadian wolves hunting muskox and trackless herds of caribou. And so you scoop up a few of those and you drop them in Idaho, where we have white-tailed deer, we have mule deer, we have elk, we have some moose populations getting more. But now you put these alpha predators, which are 1.5 to 2 times the size of the wolves that were historically in our area, that were hunted and poisoned to extinction in our area, but they were replaced by something much more predatory.
Much more needy.
Right.
So when you think about, you put these new wolves in here, they're of a size where fully grown adult elk and moose are now on the menu.
They're on the menu, yeah.
Where before, those wolves weren't really large enough to do too much damage to full-grown animals, and thus the full-grown animals were there to procreate the next season. That's not what's happening now. And so the wolves were a response, but there's no off switch. They hunted everything till it was too hard to find. So we had, when you think about the Lolo area, which is Zone 12 here in Idaho, it's on the Montana-Idaho border. There used to be 18,000 head elk herd out there. So you break that down and go, okay, let's just say half of those are cows, and pregnancy rates are 100%.
Sure.
We're going to have 8,000 calves produced in a year,
Right.
9,000 calves produced in a year. And the coyotes and the bears and the whatever
Figure
and
the
and the
attrition
cars,
rate,
you're
yeah.
going to get, maybe you lose a third of those. And so there's going to be 5,000 new elk every year to repopulate that herd. If hunters take out 5,000 elk every year, the herd maintains itself. It's a perfectly working system. Everybody's happy.
Balance.
The wolves come in, and so they were introduced in the early 90s. We had a huge, terrible winter kill in 1996. And so the wolves had 3 or 4 years to get established. The winter kill knocked the elk numbers down probably in half. And now there's so many things where it's the sheer number of babies
Yeah.
that dictates that some of those babies will survive because the predators just can't eat them all fast enough.
Right.
Well, if you get a population down to a point, the predators can keep up with the babies. They can eat them all.
Yeah.
And so the elk population in that area, now this was a few years ago, I don't know what it is today, but a few years ago it was down to below 1,600 animals.
Oh, wow.
It was down to below 1,600 animals. So now you take those same formulas of how's that animal population going to rebound. We're getting less than 1,000 new calves every year,
Right.
and predators can take them all.
Yeah. So
And
then
so
you
you're losing generation year after year. You're
got
losing
to start killing the
the next
predators now,
generation. Yes, sir.
and that's what they did here, right?
That is what they did. Yeah.
It's like open season on those big wolves.
Fascinating stuff. I mean, it's been an eye-opener for me seeing a little bit of the backside of why that system works.
Yeah.
And if you target one element of that system without offering an alternative, a workable alternative, you're just being an idiot. And I think that's where I understand people not finding it offensive. I understand people finding it offensive that human beings would take joy or sport in the suffering of something else. So I'm not into torturing. We all like making a good shot, having a good
clean kill.
clean
Yeah.
Ethical kill.
But to attack all of hunting is utterly irresponsible for wildlife management.
Well, I think it's ignorant too.
Yes.
I think it's irresponsible on their part not to educate themselves as to the hunting side of things. And like you said, if it wasn't for the hunting community, there would be no conservation.
No, all of the funding coming into the wildlife agencies comes from an excise tax. The Pittman-Robertson Act comes from an excise tax on guns and ammo, and
Right.
I mean it's
All these things that they're wanting to take away from us.
Yeah. A lot of the rangers that inhabit national parks, and I mean, so much of that
what
is
they're paid
funded
by.
through
Right.
the Pittman-Robertson Act,
Yeah.
and hunting participation is going down. I mean, wildlife management is going to become a problem. They're going to be hiring, like you can't trap and transplant and you can't spend the money to neuter animals. Like it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
That is, when you have people who will pay for the opportunity to go hunting, take the meat. I mean, I got another side angle for you. How about the carbon footprint or lack thereof of all this wild game protein, and what would have been created had we been trying to ranch grow all of that protein?
Right.
Yeah.
Like there's a carbon neutral element to wildlife that like you can't ignore all the different elements. There's a reason this is working so well.
Yeah.
And you can't just pull and prod on
And like you
threads
said,
and have the whole thing come unraveled.
This started over 100 years ago.
It started over 100 years ago. It's been polishing itself ever since.
Getting better
getting
every
better
time.
and better and better as the science improves, as the politics improve, where these game agencies are able to do studies from the air. They're able to do more computer modeling. I mean, there's a lot more tools that wildlife managers have.
They're even
today.
bringing nutritionists into the the mix.
Totally.
I mean,
There's
every
so
aspect
much,
you can think
there's
of.
so much better going on, understanding what's happening, what the impacts are, and they should be free to manage wildlife and not be spending time in court fighting for their own ability to manage wildlife,
Right.
and spending money in court. And a whole other thing is the Equal Access to Justice Act, EJA, where these same people who are filing the lawsuits are getting reimbursed by the government under the Equal Access to Justice Act. I mean, it's so the same money. So not only is the government spending money to defend themselves, they're also spending money to the people bringing the lawsuit, forcing them to defend themselves, and that's all money getting pulled out of wildlife management,
Taxes.
and getting thrown into legal fees and lawyer fees.
You mean thrown away?
Exactly.
Yes.
Accomplishing nothing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lovely.
So let's talk about some other positive aspects of the conservation. We talked a little bit earlier about the overpasses for migratory animals, wildlife. I mean, we all are have witnessed this. You see roadkill. You see a deer on the side of the road that's been run over, or a coyote, or armadillos all the time. But
Not up here.
they need to get
Not
rid
up
of.
here.
They need to get
Not up here.
Well, you used to didn't see them in Tennessee, but they're all over Tennessee now.
Really?
Armadillos.
Moving north.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess it was Nevada. I'd watched a little documentary, and I think they're the first to implement the migratory overpasses over our highway systems.
Yeah, I've seen
down
one near
there.
Elko, Nevada.
Yeah, and it just made so much sense why they're doing that. So they put science into it. They did studies. It's like all these animals that are getting hit by cars. What kind of impact does that have on humans? So I mean, you look at the economic impact that it's having, and you look at the damage that it's doing to the vehicles. I mean, it's actually killing people. So the deaths, and who hasn't heard the phrase, you can't put a price on human life. So this was their kind of their answer of protecting the animals and being able to not interrupt their migratory flow over these highways, because our road systems are going to continue and they're going to grow, and unless we come up with a way to help these animals
and a lot of
get to the greener grass.
A lot of these saddles, the same reason the animals are using it is because it's the easiest way between the two mountains. Well, the road builders felt the same way,
right?
And so a lot of these things crisscross, and the winter migration routes are crucial to the survival of some of these species.
Yeah.
So people building houses back into different areas. There's a lot of encroachment into the wild lands that used to exist.
Sure.
And we do need to be careful.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't need to not do anything, but we do need to be careful with how we encroach and make sure that we've made allowances so that there are easements that these deer can follow their instinctive routes.
And it was amazing that they said that they did the study, and that the impact of road kills across the United States, it was somewhere around $8.6 billion. With the hospital bills and the vehicle
that
damage.
justifies a couple of overpasses.
Right.
All of a sudden, the economics start making sense.
The economics start making sense. It's like, we build one of these overpasses, which, is a fraction of that. And I think they've been doing this for the past 10 years in Nevada.
Yeah.
So they've got some really good study, they got some good data on how this is working. But they're, like you said, they're putting science into it, and they're tracking the migratory patterns of the different species. And they're saying, well, where would be the best point on this road to put this? to help them, and then how to funnel them over it and how wide it needs to be, and
Yeah.
all kinds of different things that are going into this. So I thought it was amazing. Yeah.
No, that's a good point of the science now, because not only is it just setting bag limits and hunting seasons, but it's also understanding there's a lot of other things going on that are impacting these animals. There's a lot of other things we can mitigate
Right.
if we've got the money to do it.
Yeah.
And so that it's just critical that hunting continue, that it plays this enormous role, not only in funding, but in management, and in some of this research. I mean, there's so much research done by hunters.
Yeah.
We haven't even talked about CWD yet. That's a huge, just a meteor heading straight for us.
And let's talk about that, the chronic
wasting
disease that
so it's
the deer get.
what a lot of people don't understand is that it's not a bacteria. And so a lot of us, we're used to diseases being a bacteria. So there's a antibiotic. There's something you can take. There's an antibiotic for a bacteria.
Mm-hmm.
CWD is a protein. It's called a prion, and it's a protein. And you ingest that protein as a deer. Thankfully, it doesn't impact human beings, but it impacts deer and elk and moose, anything in that cervid family.
Right.
And they digest that protein, and it alters the way that they build cells. And it ends up in the brain, and slowly big portions of their brain become
Right.
unusable. And so they just die.
Basically,
They
their
go
nervous
insane.
system
They go-
starts shutting
yeah.
down, and they'll
the
die.
zombie deer apocalypse.
Yes.
So CWD is spread through feces, urine, saliva. So people putting out feeders where deer tend to group. There's a lot of mankind involvement that is helping to spread CWD. A lot of the deer breeding activities, anytime you're grouping animals together, and so the problem with some of the deer breeding is that as they sell deer to other areas and transport things to different states, once you put a deer that has CWD and not showing any signs of it for a while, once you put a deer out there, as they defecate or urinate on the grass,
It's spreading it.
the next animal eats the grass and picks that up, and now they start replicating that, and it just spreads. Because it's not a bacteria, the shelf life of these proteins is, I don't know, it's like 3 or 4 years.
Oh, is it?
I mean, it's just
Wow.
and it takes it takes a super hot fire. Dryness doesn't kill it because it's not alive. It's a protein. And so it's so different when we're thinking of normal diseases that we have to give it a
Viruses
certain
and things.
seriousness. And what we really need to do is take about a 30-year time trip back in history and do things differently, because once it's here, it's here. The only thing you can do is keep it from spreading.
Right.
And we've done a very poor job of keeping it from spreading.
Yeah.
And how do we keep that from spreading? Is just recognizing the signs of it, and
There's a couple things where one thing they're really trying to do is come up with a live test, and that I haven't heard that anybody's been successful at that. So some way where you can take a live deer, do some type of test, and determine
see if it shows up.
Usually it's an autopsy that it shows up.
Right. Yeah.
So they're working on those type of things. There's no cure. They don't have any cure for it. But
if you see it as a hunter, you need to report it.
So as a hunter, what they're saying to hunters is, when you shoot an animal, be very careful with parts of that animal, because you could be dragging CWD all over the place.
Yeah.
So it's just being responsible in how you clean the animal, how you transport the animal.
But there are telltale signs whether they've got that. protein or not.
It's not really. The telltale signs are usually when the animal's almost gone.
Right.
Yeah.
The telltale signs for CWD are usually when the disease is well advanced. So that animal has been spreading CWD for 3 or 4 years before you'll see a telltale sign.
Mm.
Yeah, but it's of the ones who have it, it's pretty obvious.
Their behavior's bizarre.
Bizarre behavior. I think
they're not going to look healthy.
They're going to look malnutrition.
They won't be eating right. They won't be healthy.
Yeah. So if you see that, then you need to report it. Don't shoot that deer.
You're more than welcome to shoot it.
Yeah, shoot
and
it,
then
but then report it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd probably be the best thing. Yeah.
That's so the CWD is a big deal. Needs a lot of study, and people, because it's so devastating, a lot of the states are kind of fighting within themselves to do the right thing, and sometimes the right thing is to eliminate an entire deer herd.
Right.
And that just makes us all sick to see that type of destruction. But sometimes that's the best course, to just nip that in the bud and end it, end that flurry of infection. That's probably not even the right term, but just to end it.
Right.
And that it's just so hard. It's hard to do that. Yeah. Hard to make that call. It's never popular. Yeah, come to our town and eliminate our local deer herd. That's just not a popular alternative. Yeah. But people need to understand it's not a bacteria. It's not a disease like we're used to thinking about a disease. It's so easy to spread, and it doesn't die. It stays spreadable for years.
Now, where are the hardest hit areas? I thought it was out west this way.
It's central, so it's not really in Idaho.
Okay.
We've had some reports in Tennessee and parts of Tennessee, but it's not rampant.
It's that whole Midwest, Ohio, Pennsylvania,
Michigan,
Michigan. Like
awesome.
it's just like it's all throughout that. Texas has it,
Texas
and then up above Colorado, Utah. Okay. So I saw a study done, and it's not official. Yeah, you can see the focus.
Yeah, it's
Utah just got destroyed.
Oh,
North Midwest.
Okay.
There were some initial studies that really tracked the transport of deer because it was jumping in island. It was jumping.
Mm-hmm.
And it shouldn't be able to jump. Right. Disease doesn't move that way unless you throw a diseased deer in a truck and drive it 1,000 miles away and drop it off. Now you've jumped a long ways. And so that's what was happening. People were transporting deer.
Okay.
In the early heydays of genetic, people breeding deer for genetics and then trying to upgrade their hunting lease with better genetics and bring in a new deer to just slip them into the genetic pool, and some of that stuff I think was responsible for some of the spread. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, because that whole area right there is just covered up. So I just, if you're listening, CDC.gov has some great information on chronic wasting disease.
And so far, there's not a single reported case of a human being getting the disease by eating a diseased deer.
But they don't recommend you do that.
But they don't recommend you. You don't want to be the first one.
Right. Yeah.
And these things, just like anything, the virus and bacteria, these proteins could evolve. They could evolve to a place where whatever's going on in the deer and digesting this stuff could now happen to human beings. Mm-hmm. Hasn't happened yet.
This could be the zombie virus outbreak or whatever.
This could be the zombie apocalypse we've all been dreaming about.
From the
zombie kill of the week.
But there's some great tips on the CDC.gov on prevention and things that you can do to protect yourself and, of course, the deer themselves. So.
Yeah.
But as a hunter, I mean, we were talking about this. There's so many hunters out there that lack the conservation education side of things, and the importance of that. And as a hunter, you should take that upon yourself to do more self-educating.
Yes.
And even joining some of these organizations like the Mule Deer Foundation.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's a ton of different ones out there that you can.
You know,
join.
all the critter groups: Rocky Mountain Elk, Mule Deer Foundation, Turkey, Wild
Waterfowl,
Turkey, Ducks
organizations.
Unlimited. All these people are raising money to do both research, but also do projects. Like with the mule deer, there's a lot of water guzzlers, and I mean, there's a lot of different projects like those overpasses that need to be shepherded through these processes.
Yeah. So very good. I wanted to do a show on this for the longest, and you know, we were talking in the lobby the other day, and it just kind of came up. I was like, this would be perfect for the show. So, thank you for taking the time to do this. And I know there's probably a lot more about Buck Knvies that we need to talk about, but we want to save some of that for SHOT Show. We don't want to ruin any of that or all that. Maybe we could tease about.
Oh, there is a lot going on.
Yeah.
You know, there's stuff that creeps in constantly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's again, that's just one of the super cool things about being a part of this company is that there's just always so much going on. You know, we're developing product in the kitchen category. You know, that's low hanging fruit. That's stuff that
and I had a great idea for that.
No, you didn't.
I had an awesome
how long
idea.
was it
Not a great
for
idea.
that. It is a great idea.
It's really not.
So Lead
Did you hear
Heads.
it already?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, several times. Yes.
In that windshield time yesterday.
So we went to this restaurant. It was an Italian restaurant when we were in Moscow, and I ordered a pizza, and they brought a pizza out, and they brought a pizza cutter along with it for me to cut my own pizza. And
They brought you out an uncut pizza,
an uncut and a pizza cutter for me to cut myself.
or just roll it up and eat it whole. Right.
Well, it was a
he
little
almost
big
did
for
that.
that. I almost did, but a pizza cutter, an antlered handled pizza cutter, man. Add that to the kitchen area, the kitchen culinary collection.
Right.
I love it. Lead Heads.
Yeah.
Would you buy that?
That's Chris going.
Shoot me an email, talkinglead@gmail.com.
It's a good thing I'm on the new product side of things, isn't it?
Right. Yeah.
'Cause that's not happening. No, I mean it is. People come up all the time and they say, "You guys should do this. You guys should do that," and we're really trying to listen to those customers. They have great ideas.
Sure.
They want to be heard, and so out of some of those requests actually come product.
Yeah.
And we're really focusing
Pizza cutter.
on on trying to listen to our consumer. And there are definitely some crazy ideas.
Yeah. Now you've got a cool story about your kitchen cutlery when you guys were in Washington. Can you talk about that or not?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. Yeah, this is
So
kind of cool.
this year, we were invited by the White House to come into the East Wing of the White House and represent the state of Idaho for American-made product.
That's awesome.
So they reached out to all 50 states, tried to find a product manufactured in that state, and it was just a broad swath of some were like one was backup cameras for tractors, one was yard signs, one was barbecues. We did game calls, and so just all kinds of different.
Lighters,
ran the gamut.
baseball gloves. I mean,
Yeah.
just some
All the different products.
metal art, just some really
Unique,
There's
crazy.
And
even
they
food.
picked one
Yeah.
company from every state.
One company from every state.
Wow.
So
That's a huge honor.
Donald Trump, President Trump, has done this all 3 years of his presidency so far. So this was the third one. They've been getting a little more polished every time.
Okay.
So we're the third company to represent Idaho in these things. And so we had on our table, we had numerous products, and we were talking about the tactical stuff. So we had a bunch of tactical stuff laid out there, some everyday, some hunting.
So they allowed you to bring knives into the White House?
Razor sharp knives.
Crazy.
I'll tell you a quick story in a little bit. So we had all this stuff laid out on the table, hoping. I really wanted to meet President Trump. Huge fan. Don Jr.'s a fellow Boone and Crockett Club member.
Okay,
So
cool.
I'm super nice guy, and so I enjoyed meeting him. And at NRA, I got to meet Kimberly, which
Nice.
just Okay,
beyond.
Yeah. Don who? So we're back there. We've got our old table full of stuff, and President Trump comes through. We set up on a Sunday. The show itself was on a Monday.
Right.
And so Sunday, I'm there. I set it all. We set it all up, and President Trump comes through after hours.
Oh,
so I didn't get to meet him. I was bummed. I didn't get to meet him in person. But so one of his assistants comes by on Monday when we're closing down and says, the president was through last night. He liked your wood handle kitchen set. He wants to buy your kitchen set.
Nice.
So we sold it to him because you can't give it to him because when you give stuff, it causes all kinds of issues. So
impeachment processes and things like that. Yeah,
that's what starts it.
It's fun.
I mean, they're going to call you guys next to testify.
Right. Be more than happy to. But so that was just really cool to know that somewhere in some
household, one of his houses,
Buck knives are being used to cut stuff. And
that's cool. So he personally came in, saw that, said,
I want that.
I want to buy that.
Yeah. So now the other story is we've got, because we have the only table that's covered with
weapons.
We were babysat by Secret Service the whole time.
Oh yeah.
and it was fun because the Secret Service people just blend into the crowd. That's as they're supposed to. Right. And so here are these very normal looking people coming up, introducing themselves as Secret Service, and just drooling over these tactical knives. It was just really.
They're like,
fun.
Can you hook a brother up?
It was testimony that we're doing the right thing.
Yes.
Yeah, it was because they were bringing over. Come here. Look at this one. That's the one. What do you think of that one? What do you think of that one? And they were bringing their Secret Service brethren up with them going, that's the one I was talking about. That's the one I wanted to show you.
So Buck Knvies has this crowd around their table, and all these other 49 states are like, what's going on over there?
It was very cool. So here comes Vice President Pence.
Oh, okay.
So he comes up to our table, and as he's walking to the table, Brooksy and I are behind the table. Secret Service leans in between us, and he says, okay, the vice president can pick up anything he wants. You two can touch nothing.
No sudden moves.
Don't even act like it.
Yes, sir. Got it. So he came up and we pointed.
Right.
So the vice president picked things up and he signed the Vice President Pence. I had brought 2 stake sets, one with the presidential seal on the box.
Oh, nice.
And one with the vice presidential seal on the box. Okay. And we did give the presidential one, so it's in the museum probably. Wow. But Mr. Pence, Vice President Pence, he said, don't give this to me because I can't take it anyway. Mm-hmm. Let me sign it and you give it to somebody else.
Oh, cool.
I'm like,
so who did we give it to?
The recipient.
It's right over there in my office.
We need to take a picture of that.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool.
So it was, he was super gracious. It was such a great experience.
Did he take selfies with you? Were you able to take a selfie?
We took some pictures. Yeah, we did take some pictures.
Cool.
So just cool. A little bit on,
I mean, how awesome is that?
On Vice President Pence, it was, CJ and I were there the whole time, right? And we were talking to all these people. Mr. Carson came up. Ben Carson came up.
Yeah, that was cool.
We got
super nice guy.
Just one of the nicest guys you could ever meet, soft-spoken, and just stood there and spoke with us for a little while. And so we've got all these people coming in and out, and it's normal. I mean, you're in the White House.
For them,
you're having this experience.
For them, that's normal. Yeah.
And so even for us, it was kind of normal.
Yeah.
Until Vice President Pence walked in. And then I got
real
nervous. My hands got kind of clammy. And I looked at CJ. I'm like, I just got nervous.
Yeah.
And, we don't.
It's one of the most powerful men in the world right there.
With our jobs, with some of the people, the really cool people that we work with, when do you ever get nervous? But when he walked in, my body changed. Right. It was like my hands got clammy.
This got real.
I kind of started,
a little tingly.
Getting kind of that cold sweat going, and I'm like,
Like a 5-year-old right before their birthday?
Now I'm
Yeah.
nervous. I don't want to shake his hand.
Because it's all sweaty and clammy?
Yeah, and I'm
You rubbing
quickly rubbing my hands, trying to get them warm and dry, and so. That
Well, you do the old fist
just
pump.
Yeah,
What a
No
great
fist bump.
experience.
we
though.
just
It was
we
just such an amazing. So much security goes on. They make it look effortless.
Yeah.
You
They're
don't
a
even feel
fine-tuned
like it.
machine.
And yet it's everywhere.
there.
It's
completely
everywhere.
behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny because we went through these checkpoints, and do you have any weapons on you? The typical questions.
You mean
and
like,
you're like,
like this and this and
You're
this
like-
one and this one?
yeah, we're loaded with them. We have
We're-
weapons
We're
in
a
these
knife
boxes.
company.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, we do.
we do.
But they were just professional, super cool. I mean, an unreal.
I guess there weren't any
experience.
firearms companies there.
I don't think there were. I don't know
There
if
was
there
a
were.
tank there.
There was a tank.
Yeah, well, out
Made
out
in the
front. So
USA?
they had some states that did large things, and they had those people out on the south lawn,
Oh, okay.
and then those of us that made smaller things, we were inside in the air conditioning, but the other
Nice.
people were outside. But all the people that were outside, when President Trump did make an appearance, he stopped and did selfies with every single one of those people outside. So at that point, I was wishing I'd have given up some air conditioning
Yeah.
to be
They
outside.
deserved it because it was hot
It was
and
hot.
humid.
Was it?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
somebody had a tank.
A missile, it was. I'm blanking on the name. It was Northrop Grumman.
Northrop? Okay.
And it had this tank with the big old
The
giant
launcher?
missile on the back of it.
Like an ICBM kind
that,
of thing.
that was a
yeah.
wepan.
That was
Yeah,
a weapon.
that
That
would
was
be.
the
Yeah.
tail out
I
at the
think
White
that
House.
was a weapon.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was a
Classify
blank or
it.
not.
Right.
Trump said.
I don't know if that firing pin was in there, but
Trump sent his assistant over there too. Said,
I want one
I
of
want
those.
one of
"Take
those.
one of those too."
Yeah.
Tell him I'll
Yeah.
buy one of those.
Yeah, pointed at the House of Representatives.
Aim it there. Get some things done real quick here. Well, that's cool. That was an awesome story. Thank you for sharing that.
Oh, it was so much fun.
Now, have you had any follow up from the White House since then? Anything?
No, not really. What,
Well, Fox,
Oh,
Fox
yes.
and Friends folled up.
yes, so we did. So we did get Fox and Friends reached out to us, so I was able to go back to New York about 6 weeks afterwards, and I was on Fox and Friends.
Look at you
representing-
go.
So it was a Saturday morning. It was
A TV
I was
star.
I was battling with the hurricane. So my little segment, it was about half what it could have been, because everything was all about the hurricane barreling down
hurricane.
on the Bahamas. But it was totally fun.
Nice.
Just it's such an experience to see how it's similar to the White House experience, where these people are managing chaos
Yeah.
and doing it so well. And that's
In the
how-
newsroom
That's how that
there?
newsroom was. It's fast and furious. We're going to wheel you in. Nope, not yet. Something else came up, so you
Stand by.
You got postponed. Stand by. Okay, now you're in. Okay, we're going to swing the camera there. Okay, now you're off. Now get out. I mean, it was awesome. It was just,
Was that the first time you've been on a national?
it was the first time I
Show?
was in Fox Studios like that. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, not the first time.
Not your first time in
on
front of a
TV,
camera, yeah.
right? But it was the first time in that setting, and then I've been invited to go back on
Nice.
in January. So I'm looking forward to that. It'll be the week before SHOT Show. If it
What do they want to talk to you about?
same American manufacturing.
Okay. I know
Which
maybe
is
they
a-
were getting in some of the knife laws and things like that. maybe.
No. It's all about making product in the U.S. American company.
Okay. Well, you should drop that. Your affiliation with the.
I'll do my best.
Yeah, you have to do my best.
It's all about the pizza cutter.
Deer antlered. Yeah.
Yep.
It's gonna be great. I can't wait for that. You think you have that ready by Christmas?
This Christmas?
Yeah, this Christmas. You got antlers, right?
We do.
We do.
have antlers.
But
You know it'd be cool. You also have woolly mammoth tusk.
yeah, they're not making those anymore though.
I know.
those
No, kind of not.
few and
well,
far
they're
between.
trying. They are trying, but
That is
yeah.
true.
So it's the elk tines, which we weren't really able to use before. We did get to we came up with a creative idea and we turned them
Yeah,
into.
talk about that. That's kind of cool.
So because they're too small to turn into a handle, we we just came up with the idea to create a marshmallow stick out of them.
Yeah, so these are the tips of the antlers, just the very end tips.
Yeah, just the tip.
That's the tip of the antler.
We can say that, right?
Boom, boom.
So yeah, so it was.
Snare drum.
We just took a steel rod and bored a hole into the tine and created marshmallow sticks.
So for your campfires,
For your campfires,
Very nice.
for having in your pit in the backyard or whatever, you can take along and we've got those in the store, and then we also created some bottle openers out of them, and
Very cool.
So
I mean, you're coming up with all kinds of creative
using
stuff
all
here.
sorts of.
So we get the elk antlers. We get our sheds that the Boy Scouts pick up
Oh, okay.
and send to us. So we go through just some beautiful.
And you guys are big
Oh, I
supporters
bet.
of the Boy Scouts.
big time,
Yep.
yes sir.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a whole other story. We won't get into that. We talked about that a couple of shows ago. But it's amazing. But those things are only available here at your local store.
So far.
Right.
Yeah, so far. So if you guys want those, shoot them emails and say, hey,
That's right.
start making more of those, Brooksy.
Yeah. So I mean, and there's other opportunities like purchasing those where we're going to have. We won't be able to do it this year, but we are coming up on our Christmas sale, and that'll be the week after Thanksgiving. So it'll start on the Monday, it'll go through Saturday, and so next year what we're trying to do is have it where folks can actually attend our Christmas sale electronically or semi-virtually. Because not everybody can make it to Post Falls, Idaho.
Right.
It's
A lot of people in Post Fall, Idaho can't make it here during that time, right?
That's right. That's right.
The snow and everything.
And so we want to be able to create this so that folks that want to attend our Christmas sale or Father's Day sale without being here will have that chance. So
I'm sure a lot of people will appreciate that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's some logistics obviously that go into that, but we want people to be able to enjoy the store or the headquarters without being here also.
But you guys are going to run something on the website for
Correct.
Christmas coming up,
Yeah.
right? So some good deals coming up.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I mean, folks that can attend it's a blast. You can come in and you can get things that are discounted, discontinued. Everything is discounted.
Or one-offs,
But
like your little thing.
One-offs.
There are plenty of one-offs.
Right. So
Yeah.
And then I'm signing. I'm autographing blades. My mom will be in doing some autographing.
Oh, cool.
My
Oh,
son
very
Josh
nice.
will be here doing some autographing. And then we're collecting donations. I couldn't tell you where they're going this year. We determined we collect $1 per signature donation, and it's gone in years past. It's gone to the Kootenai County Police and Firefighter Memorial Fund. It's gone to the Post Falls Food Bank.
Yeah.
It's gone to New Beginnings. Like we've done different things that
Each year, right.
we
Sure.
figure out a place. So I just don't know where it's going this year, but
It'll go somewhere worthy.
it'll
I'm
go
sure.
somewhere worthwhile.
Yeah.
we have Santa here. We have free gift wrapping. I mean, it's an ordeal.
Very nice.
Yeah, very
It's
cool.
fun.
Yeah.
So if
It's
anybody's
a
inclined,
community gift. It's a nice thing. It helps us out because we can move through a lot of unique product, but it's also right before Christmas. It's a really neat way to
good
people to
PR
come in.
kind of thing with the
Yeah.
with the local community here. Yeah, that's awesome. Very good. Now I hear you guys are ramping up for a big Thanksgiving too. Here,
Oh yeah,
like big covered dish you guys have here in office.
We are getting ready for Pie Monday.
Pie Monday.
Pie Monday.
Is everybody
Yeah.
just bring their favorite pie, or how's that
No,
work?
we're feeding everybody pie on Monday,
Okay,
just to celebrate Monday.
just a pie Monday. I like that.
It'll be Mo Pie Monday.
Mo pie. Is there a local pie company that you guys get those from?
I'm not sure.
Is that this Monday?
There's your mom cooking all those
that's
for
Monday.
everybody.
This Monday?
Yeah, that's Monday. Yeah, I'm coming hungry.
Brooksy's got a puzzled look on his face. He's like, I wasn't invited.
I'm not sure I got that email.
We should extend our stay until Monday.
Yeah, no doubt.
Have Pie Monday.
So we always try and do something.
Yeah,
You know,
very
just
cool.
to-
Well, it looks like, I mean, just from what we've experienced here, I mean, it seems to be a very close-knit company. You know, everybody seems to be.
we try. I mean, it's business
Really
at
nice.
the end of the day, but it's you might as well have fun doing it.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very good environment here. It doesn't have that corporate feel, but yet, like you said, business is still getting done, and people seem very happy here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they've been very nice to us, so thank you for the hospitality.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thanks for having us.
So glad you can make it.
Yeah.
I know we talked about it for about a year.
Yeah, we have, and just last month, were randomly texting back and forth, and gave me the invite, and here we are.
Right.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here and see how it's all done and hang out with you guys again.
Yeah, no, it's a cool tour.
Yeah,
I'm
looking forward to it.
Yeah.
It's big enough to be impressive, but small enough to take in. So I love the ability when we can walk high school classes and stuff through here.
Oh, I bet they're amazed.
And you give kids an understanding of, okay, this is what it looks like to produce value. And your goal is to produce value. You get paid for producing that value.
Right.
And hopefully you produce more value than you get paid for, so that your company's successful, and this works, and that works, and the economy moves forward.
And they're like, show me the woolly mammoth tusk.
Right.
I don't care about that.
Yes.
And you do have a bit of a museum kind of field going on down there.
Working on it. That's going to continue to improve.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty impressive as it is. Yes, it is. But I know you guys got business to do. Speaking of, so thank you again so much for taking the time, guys. Check them out, BuckKnives.com. Their social media under Buck Knvies. Go show them the Lead Head Brigade love, and be watching their website for those special holiday deals, and make great gifts. Always knives. Everybody likes a knife,
Oh, yeah.
Everybody loves getting a knife. So until next time, Lead Heads, as always, keep your loved ones close.
Firearms closer.
Your firearms closer.
There you go. And your Buck Knives.
In your pocket.
In hand.
In your pocket. On your belt. Yeah. On hand somewhere.